Hello guys, here is the next Unreal Engine 4 tutorial for the inventory, and today I want to show the items in the UI in the UMG panel. And this tutorial will cover more advanced features for C++ and Blueprint programming. Let's start with the UI with one item of the inventory. Currently it consists of a button and an image. And what I want to do is I want to add a text that displays the name of the item, and of course I want to show an image of the pickup that the player collected. So let's start by changing the structure of the inventory items UI. I will add a vertical box here. This can be used to display a stack of UI items. So the first one is the button, and when I drag a text now into the vertical box, it is displayed below this button. Okay, now I changed the text to item, and it is too big. I set the font to, let's say 10 is a good value. Okay, and I will center this item or this text horizontally. Great, now let's come to binding. We will bind the text and the image to a variable we are going to add here in the graph, and the type of this variable is pickup actor. Pickup actor has a name, and I will also add a texture to it, and each time the texture or the name changes, it will be reflected in the UI of the inventory item. Okay, let's choose the pickup actor as a class. Here it is, pickup actor. And we want this item to be visible from the outside. So check this little eye icon. Now it is public and editable. The next step is again C++. Let's open the pickup actor in Visual Studio. And here you can see the name property that we are going to bind to the inventory item. But what we need is a second property for the texture, for the image. Now let's copy this, and we are using the class uTexture2D. This has to be a pointer, and we name this image. Okay, pretty easy, right? But there will be more elaborated stuff. Let's come back to the blueprints and open here the inventory item. And now let's do the actual binding. So select the image first, and then go to bind. And here you can see our pickup actor, pickup, and the image that we just added. Isn't that great? I have to say I really love these concepts. Now let's do exactly the same for the name property. Just select the text, press bind, pickup, and here's the name to be bound. Well, this item is a bit bigger than before, so we have to open the inventory UI widget and adjust the size. Select this sizable box or size box, and then I add a few pixels for the height. Okay, that looks great. Okay, my friends, now comes perhaps the most interesting but the most complex part, when we have to change the C++ class for the player to send update events, so-called delegates, for the inventory. Okay, let's first add the declaration for a multicast delegate. This is the declaration of the event that is fired when the inventory is to be updated. There's a macro for it, and it is called declare dynamic multicast delegate, and we use one parameter. And this is our T array of inventory items. So we use the macro declare dynamic multicast delegate 1 param. I know it's a long name, I also have to look it up sometimes, but IntelliSense of Visual Studio helps a little bit, if it works. The first parameter of this macro is the name of the delegate. I will call this fupdate inventory delegate. Okay, and then comes the parameter, and this has to be a const t-array of pickup actors, and this has to be a reference. Okay, that's the type we have to use, and then the name of this parameter, and this is inventory items. I call this inventory items, and I have a typo here. This is a pickup actor. Okay, and now it should compile. That's the declaration of the multicast delegate. And now that we have the declaration, we have to define a variable of this type for our FPS CPP character. So let's do this. I move here to the public section of our class, which already contains the method print inventory. And I think we can use this print inventory or rename this to update inventory, and this method update inventory will call the delegate update inventory delegate. Okay, let's first change the name of this update inventory, and then we add a property for the delegate. This has to be blueprint assignable, because we will bind it in the blueprint. And then let's add the variable, the property itself. It is of type fupdate inventory delegate, and I'll name this onUpdate inventory. And now let's call this event. We speak of broadcasting the event in the update inventory method. We can remove this printing out of all items in this method, and then I use onUpdate inventory, and then I type dot broadcast with one parameter, and the parameter is my t-array list of pickup actors. And now I'm able to bind this event, the update inventory, in my blueprint, and this will be the next step. But first we have to change the part in the player blueprint where the print inventory is called when the user presses the I key. This method doesn't exist anymore. Now we call update inventory. So this is not an automatic update at the moment. We will implement this later on. The inventory will be updated when the user presses the I key. Alright, and now let's bind the onUpdate inventory in our UI widget inventory. This will be again the next complex task. So I start by getting a reference to my character. And I will cast this character to my FPS character, because the FPS character has the event that I'm going to bind right now. To do this, drag out a connection here and type in assign, and here you can already see the update inventory event that we can bind, and a custom event is generated for us with the parameter of the inventory items that we defined for this multicast delegate. What I want to do now is to loop over the list of the inventory items that are contained in the custom event and assign each item to the pickup actor of the UI, of the inventory items in the UI. But to do this, I need an array. And great that there is a makeArray node that I'm using here. And I defined an array size of 8 and add all the inventory items to the appropriate array elements. Okay, now I have an array, and now let's propagate this as a variable. And I name this inventory item list. Okay, then move this to a position like here. And connect this in the constructor. We are almost done. Let's connect all the pins that we need. And after that, I will drag out the for each loop for our custom event and loop over the inventory items. And then I will get for each array index the appropriate item of the array I just created. And then I assign each array element, each pickup actor, to this item of the current index. Alright, we are done. Now let's connect all the pins that we missed. And then we are ready to compile and start the game and see if we can add and display items in our inventory. But before we can do this, we have to open the golden and silver coins blueprints to assign two images that I created, a golden and a silver coin, to the image property. Because if we don't, then nothing will be displayed in the inventory. Okay, this is the golden coin and the same for the silver coin. And after that, finally, we can start the game. Alright, let's start. Now we collected one coin, press the I key, and here it is displayed in the inventory. And the same can be done for the silver coin. In the next tutorial we will improve this logic to remove and to use items. If you find this tutorial useful, then please like and subscribe to my channel to not miss a future tutorial. Thanks a lot for watching and see you soon on JNM.